Epstein, but somehow he had a lot more to do with Jeffrey Epstein. Which brings us to the liar-in-chief, President Donald J. Trump. What's his role in all of this? Well, he was asked prior to taking office whether he would support the release of the Epstein files, and although he equivocated a bit, he was in favor of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know it. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there, because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world. But I think I would.
Now, after becoming president, it was very different. He pushed back. He said there's nothing to see here. And when legislation was introduced on a bipartisan basis to require the disclosure of these files, he went into all-out mode to try to stop it, even so far as calling people who would sign a discharge petition in the House to compel a vote to release the Epstein files. When he was unsuccessful, when that bill passed overwhelmingly, he signed it very begrudgingly. And we can see why. Because notwithstanding the president's claim that these files somehow absolve him, they do anything but. There are serious accusations made against the president in these files. They will need to be looked into. But nevertheless, they do not absolve Donald Trump. After all, this is someone who previously claimed that the reason he parted company with Jeffrey Epstein was because Epstein was stealing women, young women from Mar-a-Lago.
People were taken out of the spa, hired by him. In other words, gone.
One of those stolen, persons, that include Virginia Jeffrey?
I don't know. I think she worked at the spa. I think so. I think that was one of the people. Yeah. He stole her.
But he now says that he wants the country to move on. He admitted to, apparently, Marjorie Taylor Greene that his friends might get hurt with these releases, and he wants the country to move on.
And when Greene said to the president, why won't you allow this? Why won't you permit this to be released? Trump said this, quote, "My friends will get hurt," focusing on powerful men, not the victims.
I think it's really time for the country to get onto something else. Now that nothing came out about me, other than it was a conspiracy against me, literally, by Epstein and other people. But I think it's time now for the country to maybe get onto something else.
Well, the country is not going to move on. Not until that law is followed, not until these files are released unredacted, at least as far as the perpetrators are concerned. There is going to be no let up until there is some justice, and that justice must begin with transparency. So I don't really care whether the president's friends are going to get hurt. What I care about is the fact that so many victims were hurt, and so many victims were hurt again when the Justice Department so callously pushed out information about them and not the perpetrators. So we're going to keep the pressure on until these files are released, until the law is observed, and until the victims get a measure of justice.